Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you as always for joining me on my channel. So today we are going to talk about some more information that I found out on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's a really neat kind of concept, new feature that they're going to have on the new Corvette that is different from past Corvettes, and that is primarily due to the fact that it's going to be a mid-engine Corvette. And with it being mid-engine, it has a kind of a different panel piece than previous generations. So that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. I hope you enjoy it, and remember, you're watching Full Throttle Drive. Before we actually jump into today's video, I want to remind you guys where I get all of this great information that I get to share with you guys on my YouTube channel. And today's information comes from the Mid-Engine Corvette forum.com. It is a great forum with a whole bunch of great individuals on the forum. They have information about lots of Corvettes, but primarily the new 2020 C8 mid-engine Corvette. And I love using it. I love giving you guys the information from this forum, as well as analyzing it sometimes as well. And I think today's video you guys will thoroughly enjoy, and that again is where I get all of my information. I will put a link in the description below if you guys are curious and want to check it out. So today we are going to actually talk about the new C8 rear hatch venting system that GM filed an application for. And this is actually a really important topic about the new C8 mid-engine Corvette because it is the first time we've ever seen a rear hatch venting system for a Corvette. Obviously, with the engine being in front, we've had traditional hoods, but with it moving to the mid-rear of the vehicle behind the driver, we now have to have a venting system for it because there's going to be a glass paneling covering it. So this is a really neat application, and we can get a lot of cool information about it, as well as seeing some of the new applications and materials they're going to use on the mid-engine Corvette. So I'm actually going to read you guys what Road and Track sent out for this application and the breakdown they have. And this is what they had to say. Most spy shots of the upcoming mid-engine Corvette show a mesh covering over the center of the rear hatch. Now, a recently uncovered GM patent application might explain why, titled Venting Module for Vehicle Compartment Cover Assemble. It shows that the center piece for the rear hatch of a vehicle that is described as vented engine hood assembly for motor vehicles with a rear engine or a mid-engine layout. The hatch cover is described as a glass module surrounded by a carrier frame that is perforated to allow the engine to vent. This is obviously very important. You want all of this hot air built up in the engine bay to come out. This would explain why the prototype that we've seen so far have a mesh cover over the area, or even left is completely open so the engine wouldn't overheat. So obviously, even though they want to cover the vehicle, they can't cover this area because they still have to allow a airflow for the hot air to rise out of the engine bay. The article goes on by saying the application explains that this hatch cover, described as an engine hood, can combine a back glass panel with a supportive frame that can enable improved radiative and convective cooling of the engine bay. It states that in some configurations, the venting assembly could be composed of magnesium mesh. Now, magnesium is a very, very cool metal, and it's a great way to use this metal. And we've actually seen it on previous Corvettes. And it goes on to say that the current generation Corvette employs magnesium for strength and weight saving. So it's not surprising that Chevy would use it on its next generation of vehicles. Again, it's really cool to see Chevy using magnesium more and more on the vehicles. It's a great metal to use, and here they're using it in a great application for the rear venting. Continuing, it says, according to the operational description of the hatch, the design described in the patent can provide more than 200% increase in venting over traditional designs. So we're seeing a much better venting process built for this application of this venting system. It also states that there are other advantages to it, such as the ability to eliminate the bridge structure used in other glass rear hatches, which reduces weight and aids in the manufacturing process. Included drawings and diagrams show a mid-engine vehicle, but it is only used to show the location of the hatch for the purpose of this patent application. The drawings of the actual hatch itself is very similar to what we have seen in the production version of the car. A gap exists at the top of the hatch in the drawing, but if we look at the spy shots, we can see that the spot where this appears to be a camera module is mounted. A similar gap exists at the bottom, and the triangular shape might point to the location where a Corvette badge might be placed. It now seems less and less likely of the question of if we are going to get a mid-engine Corvette, but more likely of when we will see a mid-engine Corvette. And I completely agree with that last statement. I think we've seen too many spy shots, too much information, and more patents reflecting a new mid-engine Corvette. Again, I've told you guys many times I am completely convinced the next Corvette will be a mid-engine Corvette, but there's still a lot of people out there that don't believe it or are kind of, in denial about the changeover from a front mid-engine vehicle to a rear mid-engine. So I'm actually going to throw up a image that you guys have seen multiple times, but we've actually kind of expanded and zoomed in, and you can get a better idea of what this mesh system may look like. And again, I've actually completely missed this small little hex diagram that you're seeing here, but it gives you a great insight on what we're going to see on the newer generation of the Corvette. And actually, if you look down, you see the hex design in the mesh, and it looks really good. I do like the rear of this vehicle. I think the back glass looks really nice, and it's going to give it that nice mid-engine aggressive look that we've been waiting for so long out of the Corvette. And again, you got to remember this is not just for looks. There's a very important aspect of cooling the engine bay. My Audi R8 has something just like this where there are little openings to allow the heat to extract from the rear. You don't want it to build up in there because again, it's no different than having the engine in the front. If the engine heat builds up in that bay, it reduces the power output of the engine. So allowing the airflow to be really good through that area is essential, especially for a more high-powered vehicle such as a Corvette. So that new 200% in increased airflow is essential to making the car even more performance ready going into the future. So again, guys, I am really impressed with the overall design, look, and layout for the rear hatch venting system that GM has put an application for. But it's not just the overall look that we want to take into account. It's what the car is capable of doing with this new technology. This new rear venting system will make the car even better, and I really cannot wait to see all the tech that goes into the making of this new C8 lineup. Again, GM is really pushing the bounds of what they are putting into this car, and all of these new patents, all of this new technology going into it is just showing this is the case, and I cannot wait to see the final product when it's finally unveiled. All the little details, all of the hard work that they put in to make themselves the most value out of a performance car, and we've seen that for years and years, and hopefully this next lineup is no different. They again are putting in a ton of work and a lot of new features. But as always, guys, I want to hear what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think of the C8 in general. What are your thoughts on all of these new patents? Do you like this rear venting look? Do you think the system will provide what this car needs so that it can cool effectively? Because cooling is a huge deal. Any of you guys remember the C7 Z06 had a major cooling issue? That's the last thing they want to have for this car, especially changing this major platform change. So we will see. I cannot wait for it, but as always, I like conversing with you guys, hearing what you guys have to say about it, and replying to all of your guys' comments. It's great to see everything. I love seeing the interaction. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. And if you have not already subscribed, please think about subscribing. We would absolutely love to have you on the channel. I have a new video coming out talking about the LA Auto Show. That's where I've been for the past week, and I absolutely loved it. No, obviously they did not have the C8 Corvette unveiled there. It's probably going to be either the North American International Auto Show in Detroit or possibly the New York Auto Show. Again, we're not 100% sure, but one of those probably will be the unveiling. But the LA Auto Show was amazing. We saw some really cool vehicles, and be looking for that video. Make sure you hit that bell notification, and as always, take care. I'll see you next video.